Oh, crafters. Big D here. It has been a long day. It's been a long week. It has been a long day, and we are ready for a 4-day weekend. Hello, Commodore, coming in from high orbit, protecting us from all the freaks out there in the internet land. I'm a Big D. He is the Commodore. This is the Gamecraft Dragon. It is Taco Tuesday, and wowzers. It has been a week. We have had an exciting week. My man, gee, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. So it has been one heck of a week. So what do you got on the bench? Let's start off with the light stuff. We are painting and painting and painting. I am doing some building in preparation for more painting when I am done with the painting that I am painting. And I am prepping for a tournament that is Warp Storm's year-end extravaganza. Screw you, you didn't win a tournament, but you make it in on points. All right, so let's talk about it. What went on this past weekend? Let's talk about Warhammer itself, and then we can talk about what happened to me. So, big release news. We got to see some of the new models that are coming out for the World Eaters. I'm not a World Eaters player. Shan wants to play them. Lady D wants to play them, but she's got a bunch of other things going on before then. I quick knocked out some terrain for Warpstorm. I think there's 2 left to do. I got to get by the store and pick those up to get them done before the 4th. Slaves of Darkness came out. The Demon kit is gorgeous. The rest of the kit is really gorgeous. I kind of wish I played Slaves of Darkness. They're just not the kind of chaos I want to play. Christmas boxes are coming. I'm a little underwhelmed just because most of our armies I don't really have any need or desire for. Oh, you got your army? I say, what'd you get, G? Slave of Darkness. All right. It looks like an amazing kit. Commodore was going through his, and my brother Alex, one of the greatest modelers that has ever lived, and I will stand by that. You are not. Call yourself a mediocre clown modeler. You're amazing. Tina Raven, good to see you. Oh, and my wife is kind of in her little thing there. I gotta get some balm and some oil for the beard because I'm gonna keep it, I think, this time. I was just gonna keep it for November, and then I decided that I really like it. And I look good. Good. I'm gonna keep it. I like to think it. I need to get some more. I need to get some conditioner, so not so it kind of poofs up here, and I don't want to trim it. I want to grow. I want to have the wizard beard. I know. I say this every year, and I'm going to keep it till it gets on my nerves, and then I'm going to shave it off. And I know because I'm going to do this. I do this every year, and that's okay because it's my beard. And my beard is not part of my identity, but shaving it is a part of my identity. But I am enjoying it right now. I'm enjoying the look of it. The psoriasis with the meds I'm on is really clearing up, so my cheeks don't itch. So it's actually quite enjoyable to have. Won't let me shave it. Commodore, did we just become beard brothers? Oh yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots of new models coming out. That's probably going to be it for the year. Oh, yeah, the guard's coming out this week. Gonna get my box. According to my distributor, dealer, whatever you want to call him, my plastic crack should be in my hands tomorrow. Cadia stands. I've seen the box. I was at the store where Lady D works, and I saw a stack of like 10 of them, and I was just like, they're so good. The box is heavy like it should be. You can just hear the Imperial joy just waiting to be released. Oh man, it's such a good box. It is such a good box. 2 squads of 10 dudes, a command squad, 2 weapon squads, the special weapons, the new artillery batteries, and a sentinel, giving me my 3rd sentinel. Plus the codex, plus the cards, plus some artwork. It's gonna be amazing. Gonna be an amazing box. I'm looking forward to making more guard. I love the guard. Unfortunately, because it's not their official release, I will not be able to play them on the weekend of the 4th. I would love to play them on the weekend of the 4th just so I can have the guard march in and punch somebody in the face. All these freaking Xenos and superhumans and monsters and demons. We're guardsmen with las guns and we freaking win. Do I love the guard? Do I love the guard? I love the guard. There are 2 things in this game I love. Space Wolves and the guard. And the Death Guard. And Arcs. And Knights. And Chaos Marines. But mostly the guard and the Space Wolves. Cadia stands! Yes! Wherever a lone Cadian stands, all of Cadia stands with him. The world, the universe trembles at the sight of the mighty guardsman and his humble las gun. 196 Cadian Fireflies reported for duty. Nice! My guys are the 347th Cadian Irregulars Mechanized. We are the Ivy Tigers. Demons, all right. Yeah. Talk. There you go. No, I did not say demons. For in 40K, it's one of the few armies I don't like. I like them in Age of Sigmar, but not in 40K. I did this. Demons should be part of another army. That's just me. But yes, the Ivy Tigers are getting reinforcements when I get my box. I'm so happy. I went digging, and as I'm cleaning, I found some stuff. Found a couple of old school Talon colored transports. And you can tell they're old school because they've got the autocannon on them when they were still allowed to have the autocannon. And I got my own transports in there. I have to fix them up. I gotta get this glued back on because I got the multi-las, and here's its dozer claw come off of it. I gotta reglue that back on. And then the more modern version of the same model, again, with the dozer. So yeah, this is old school, new school. So I've got my two new school ones that I've painted, and then I got an old school one that I painted in the same manner. Old school one I painted in the same manner, and then I've got these two Talon ones that I am super excited about. These are going to be going in with it because now that the Guard kind of encourages a mixed regiments, I'm definitely going to be painting up a bunch of my old Talon that have been sitting there all in metal. I'm excited. I mean, Guard are just such an amazing army. As long as one man survives, the Canadian Flyer Flies will stand on. The thing is, it's crazy to talk about the Guard like this because, I mean, the Guard are one of the oldest complete armies in 40K. They're honestly one of the first four because there was the Marines, there was the Guard, there was the Orcs, and there was the Eldar. And those are like the first four armies in 40K. And then they added on, I want to say right after they added them on, they added the Gene Stealers. And the Gene Stealers led to the Tyrannid. And that was a point in time when I don't think the cults were a thing yet. Like, Gene Stealers were just part of the Tyrannids at that point. You're just going to keep rubbing that in. He's going to come back at you and rip you apart. And I'm going to laugh at both of you for getting salty. But that was great. So, yeah, I guess we are talking about what happened at the tournament this weekend. 20 men, 2 didn't show up. I came in 10th. I played my Knights, and I went 1-2. And I scored a shitload of points. Knights really are good at scoring a lot of points. What they're not good is stopping other armies from scoring points. So all 3 of my games are really close and really high scoring. I had one that was 91 to 79. I had the one that I won was 89 to 81. And then I lost my final game because he managed to pick up 25 points. Like 20, 25 points in the final bottom of 5 and won 96 to 90 on me. I don't think you're salty. I just think you're going to bring some hurt on him. So by coming in the way I did, ended up meaning it didn't matter because I didn't win. So it didn't change my score because I didn't do better than my best 3. So I'm coming in at the 12 winners, and then it's the board underneath them, and it's going to be the next 20 underneath them. 12, I came in, before this weekend, I was in the top 5 after the 12 winners. I ended up getting knocked down 2 slots, so I'm at, I was at 7th of the come-ins, you want to call them? I don't know what you want to call it. And then it looks like one of the 12 winners are not going to be making the event. So that kind of slipped everyone up. And then we had a mid-20s player that looks like he's dropping as well. So we should still be able to get our 32. I mean, we had 100 and some odd people over the year. It was amazing that played. No more fluff. All right. Hey, Big Ben, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, we're bringing everything home. I mean, everybody's bringing the big stuff this coming weekend, this 2 weeks from now. 3 weeks, 2 weeks? I don't know. It's the weekend of the 3rd and 4th. I actually went into my list and I tuned it a bit. I kind of trimmed it and tuned it a little bit. And I think it's going to be kind of brutal with what I'm doing. Um, my warlord's going to come walking in, knocking on people's door, spreading the word of the Imperium, going, "Hey, time to get out." And I'm not leaving until you make me, and you're not gonna be able to make me real easy, which I love. I'm pretty much. I think I have a better grip on how to play them now, and it's funny going back over my list and rereading my list. The more reps I get, the more things I realize I haven't done, and every time I do another rep with them, I'm going, I wasn't doing this. I had this on. Oh, they did better. Oh, I didn't do this. Oh, they did better. And so now I'm looking at my list, going, there is a bunch of stuff that I missed. That yikes, like. Oof. This army is a lot more dangerous. I mean, it was good, but I missed like some major buffs that I had. So we're gonna be coming. We're gonna be coming to swing the big bat. Walking around, letting people know, "Hi, I'm here," and if I have anything to say about it, you won't be. So, um, so Warp Storm Year-End Invitational, 32 spots, top 3 rounds on Saturday. Top 8 make the cut and go to Sunday to play 3 rounds for the championship. Everyone else that paid for the GT can come back the second day if they didn't make top 8, and there's an RTT that they will be able to play in as well. So you actually, if you don't do well, you get 2 events. If you did do well, you get a big event. So I think that's pretty cool both ways. I'm shooting for top 8. But I mean, there's a lot of really good players there. Luckily, like the first round's going to be a banger, like because we're seeding it NCAA style. So, number 1 seed faces the number 32 seed, number 2 seed faces the number 31 seed, and like that. So I'm coming in, and it looks like I'm going to end up being the number 18 seed, it looks like. No, that's not right. Yeah, I'm number 18 seed. So I'm looking to come in at the number 18 seed, which means I'm going to be playing my man Art in the first round. Art's either going to be bringing his sisters, or he's going to be bringing his Creations of Bile. I don't know if he's going to bring his Creations of Bile. He has not had a lot of luck with them. And he has really been kind of salty about how they have underperformed for him the last 3 times he's played them. So I really think he should go back to his sisters. Being honest with you, Art, you did really, really well with your sisters. They're a very strong army. But it'll be interesting. He might, I don't know what he's going to play. But if he brings Creations of Bile, we're gonna have a big Rock'em Sock'em Robot Smash Fest on that one, because I don't think Chaos Marines, other than the big guy himself, I don't think they do well against Knights. They don't score very well. And they have other problems. I mean, they're a good army. They're a great army, but there's certain armies they're going to have problems with. And he doesn't have big weapons. Doesn't have big guns. He got rid of his sisters. Oh. Well, we'll see. Because don't get me wrong, I love my man Art. Art is a great guy, and I love playing him. But like I said, his last 3 games he's played against me, against my Knights, he has not done well at all. I didn't know he had traded you for them. I knew he didn't want to play more. I didn't realize he traded you for them. So I don't know. He's been playing his Chaos Marine so much lately. I thought he still had his sisters. Oh, he came in like third place with his sisters. Oh, that's so sad. He was so good with them. I'm assuming, Mr. Knox, that's what you're bringing. Is you're bringing sisters to the party, which will be interesting because because of I think because of the drop, you slide into the upper half of the bracket, don't you? You slide up to 16, don't you? Ugh. I gotta say, I mean, that first round is gonna be a lot of knockouts. That's gonna be, oof. I mean, those are some good players. I mean, your top 12 people are all people that have won an event. So it's gonna be tough. Oh, one and done. I don't want to be that guy. Yikes, it's gonna be tough. But I'm looking forward to it. It'll be exciting because even if I get knocked out of the first day, I just can come back the second day and pick up a consolation prize. Hey, Elcha, good to see you. Now, Chops, you don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Like, I mean, your top four tables, um, like these are the top four tables are like guys that have been consistently just knocking heads on people. I mean, you got I was shocked to see Kevin Leonard down at 7th. I assumed he was going to be much higher in the rankings, which was very surprising to me. Yeah, my man Art. We were just talking. I was just talking about that. I mean, woo, woo. You're bringing them creations of bile. We're gonna have some fun, aren't we? Oh, yeah. Like I said, it's gonna be interesting. Like, there's a lot to go on there. And I may end up doing actually a second episode later in the week just to talk about the specifics of what the matchups are turning out to be and some of the competitive nature. I don't know. Knox, we might even try and set up like you and I should actually see if we can sit down and collab on something where we can talk about the whole concept of prepping for a real GT. What you have to do to prep your army and whatnot. I think you and I kind of have some different ideas, but some also similar ideas on what we need to do. And I think that'd be interesting. I should talk about that offline about it. I think we could have some real fun with that. But like you look at like some of the teams are going to be there. I mean, Warp Storms, Knox on his stream the other night. If you are not subscribed to Skynox, I'm going to ask you go over there and subscribe to him now. He's only got like 12 subscribers. The guy's got really serious content. He's got a good insight into the competitive scene. He talks about his list that he plays. He talks about what he sees that works, what he sees doesn't work, how it comes together, what he's shooting for. If you want to get a better insight on competitive play, you really need to subscribe to his channel. Go over, give him some love, give him some hugs, give that channel some love, and we'll talk about it some more. Like I said, you and I need to collab on some stuff. But like he broke down his Votan list that he played. And the reasons he played specific things and the reasons he leaned into specific keywords and whatnot. And it was a great army. It'll be, like I said, I think I'm looking at what we're going to see. And honestly, I think knowing who some of the people are in those first few rounds, I mean, those top 5, we're going to see. I am not doubting that our number 1 seed is probably going to be playing his Tyranids again. He's had a lot of success with those Tyranids, and they have proven to be a real game changer Um, um, yeah, I mean, I think Eric and his Tyranids are going to be a real pain in the ass to deal with. Um, Eric is number 2. I thought Forceman came in first. Who came in? What? Really? I thought Forceman came in first. Let me take a look at this list here. We'll talk about this a little bit here, because I mean this tournament is gonna be. I mean, this is like the biggest group of people running some serious stuff. Oh, Ryan! Oh my God, that's right. Ryan's gonna be there in his first. Oh, what is Ryan running? What did he run last time? Oh God. Like, I know Forsman runs his and he's running his LVO list. That's gonna be and Oliver on at 5 is he was literally an interesting thing. I was talking to Oliver and I was talking to his team. Oliver Smith was now he plays at a very high competitive level. And he was one of the first people nationally to run 2 of the Tau bombers in his Tau list. Eric and I were talking about this. We were having lunch. Jeff, and I were talking about this. They're talking to some guys from Art of War, and their Tau guy um, that's not the big name out of their team, but one of their other guys is talking with Oliver, and the two of them are talking, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And they're watching the two of them talk in chats over this. And he started the first one running the twin Sunshark bombers, and he's had incredible success with them, and they've now become a staple of a lot of lists because he started doing it in the Art of War. When him were talking, they started putting them in, and they started talking about lists and whatnot, and it's really, really blown up. And I am not looking forward to that Tau list because I mean, when I played against it in August or September, I played into it with my Chaos Marines. And he absolutely he's surgical with them. And he's a surgical player. He's really, really, really technical, solid player. And if you ever get a chance to watch him play, you need to watch him. I know there's going to be a number of games we're going to try and film and maybe live stream from the GT. If you get a chance to watch Oliver Smith from Tundra Tactics play, watch him because he is surgical with his stuff. It's just crazy good. Coming in at 6, you're going to have Kevin Leonard coming in. Now, Kevin Leonard's been messing around with a couple different Demons lists. He was playing the Flamers, the Flamers, Lord of Change, and Bellacore list. And then the last thing I just saw him run, and he did really, really well with, he was running Nurgle Demons with like Soul Grinders and the Great Unclean Ones, and just ran a really weird list and did really well with that too. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm just looking at people that I know I've played against specifically. He went full running at Renego. Yeah, that's what I was saying. And that might be the list he plays because I think that's his LVO list as well. Steve Shields coming in at 11. He has been running variations of Iron Hands and Chaos with a lot of machines. The lightning throwing Chaos dreadnoughty things that are throwing mortal wounds all over the place instead of rolling a hit. Maybe not. You talked about it. Okay, interesting. But Juan Peniguia. Yeah, Steven Desire Morris. Juan won, or he didn't win this last weekend, but because the person who did win had already had a first place win, it passes down. So Juan came in second with his army. Juan's real interesting in that he's playing Grey Knights, and Juan is blind. So it takes to get a bit used to playing with him. It'll be interesting to see how that works out because unfortunately, play with him ends up being a little slower, obviously, and so points totals tend to be a little lower. So it's an interesting what's going to happen there. Matt Mansour came in 13th. Now I played him for the first time all year. He and I have talked a lot of theory crafting, a lot of math hammer, but we actually got to play for the first time this past weekend. He was my first round opponent, and that was pretty crazy. He's got a really good army, so that's gonna be interesting to see if he's running the same list again. John Miller, who's playing on 14th, I played him against with my Tau very early in the year, and he runs a very similar list to the one that Matt runs, which is a Custodes 9 bikes. So that'll be interesting to see if he ends up with the same thing. I did notice Jason Moskalik. He is the 7th place player. I played him in the 3rd round this past weekend. He runs Necrons. And he brings a lot of destroyers, like a lot of the gun destroyers and a lot of the melee destroyers. Like he's not running any troop slots. I think he's running. I'm not sure which detachment he's using, but he didn't have any troops. He had a bunch of scarabs and a bunch of the destroyers. Oh yeah, and Jason's I want to be honest. Jason is a really, really great guy. Like he's played Knights as well, and he gave me some tips and some stuff to talking about Knights and some ideas on how to play them a little better, and gave me some tips and tricks there. Really, really great player. He was shocked. He actually thought he thought he had lost the game. First round, I managed to wipe out 2 of his big units. One of them is one of his big spats of scarabs, which he uses to really aggressively board control early in the game. And I managed to wipe out the entire unit in the first round. And then I took out a bunch of his destroyers, and he was just like, he actually thought he had lost at that point, and he managed to pull it out right at the end. It was crazy that he managed to pull that thing out. He scored so many points at the very end of the game. Was just unbelievable. Picked up a bunch of secondary points by just remembering that the game's about the points and not exactly the combat. So he's just flinging figures over places to try and get more points in. Yeah, I think it's an outrider detachment too. Thinking about all the fast attack slots he had in there. But it's either an outrider detachment or a whatever the elites detachment is, because like I said, it was a hell of a game. He's a great guy to play against, and he's just a really good guy. Like we just went in there with no stress. We both want to win, but we're both like, hey, we're just here to play and have some fun and had a good time about it. And he was just like a really decent person. And you don't want to say that like that's not a common thing, but it was very notable that he was just such a decent guy to play against. So it was very enjoyable to play against him. And it was for all 3. Matt Mansour is very chill, consummate professional, just a consummate gamesman, just very, very nice to play against. And I got to play my man Andrew, who's a teammate, and got to play his orcs that second round. And that was just a brutal match. I was glad to pull that one out. I didn't know if I was. I think gunning the crap out of Gaz from across the board had a lot to do with that. I managed to open up a channel in the middle of the board and just able to cover a crossfire in the board that did a lot of work for me. But even then, that was 89 to 81. Great game. So let's see who else on here that I know off top of the bat. What kind of teams, armies they play? Andrew, well, he's coming at 31, so he'll be there. You got Reyna and probably playing your demons again, I would assume. Ben Mitchell. I don't know if Ben's gonna make it. I'd be interested to see, because if he does, he'll probably be playing his Dark Angels. You got Luke Lamar, my buddy Big Luke. He's got a Tau list that he plays. Really fun guy to play against too. Who was on Kron's last time? Because I mean, that's what you talking about, Jason. Because Jason was playing Kron's this last weekend. Ben, oh, Ben's playing Kron's. I didn't realize Ben had Kron's. Okay, interesting. I must have missed that week. I must have missed that weekend. I didn't notice he was playing Kron's. That'd be interesting. I like to see him playing Kron's, and Kron's are a really strong army. It's really crazy. Oh gosh, that's right. I remember that now. You had that bright red void dragon. Yeah. We got Jack in the middle of that 24 seed, with his blood angels. It'll be interesting to see what goes on there. Zach Lambie. I'm shocked that Zach is down at 20. Because he's almost won a couple, and he'll probably be he could play just about anything. He's got like 4 or 5 armies, and he's really good with all of them. I've seen him play his Custodes and do really well with them. He's got a really great Dark Angels army that I've seen him do well with. See my buddy Robert Petra there. I wonder if he's going to be playing his Votan or he's going to be playing his sisters. Be interesting to find out. I'm interested to see a lot of these, because a bunch of these guys have multiple armies, and I'd love to see what they bring to the table. I'd really love to see what they bring to the table. Spoiler, won't be the Votan. Oh, he's back with the clowns. Oh God. Jeff Hill, who was in between me and Rob. He's got this really great deep blue Tau list. It'd be interesting to see if he does play as Tau, or he's got another arm. He's got a couple armies. I know he's really happy with his Tau list, so I'm assuming he's gonna. I don't know. Maybe we'll get Art to bring Votan. That'll be fun. And that's the thing. It's funny to see here, like Cameron. I don't even know that I know Cameron. I don't know. I have no. I don't remember him off the top of my head. I don't remember what JP plays. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I'd love to bring Votan. I just don't have an army up and painted. I'm not ready to go with them. But Well, here's the hope, Todd. I'd be interested to see who's going to swap over to Votan because I would expect to see a couple Votan players come out of some of these, out of some of these armies. Um, I think we're going to see a number of Tau lists, obviously. I think we're going to see a number of demon lists. I think we're going to see quite a bit of Tau actually, because I'm looking at a number of these names here that are pretty well known in our group for playing Tau. It'll be interesting. I think we're going to, because I mean, this is all like top armies. These are out of the 100 some odd players. These are the best 32 players available. I know we're going to drop a couple, and then shove a couple, but basically you're looking at all these people in the top 40 of the last year of these tournaments. So it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good time. Win or lose, it'll be a great time. I think we're going to see some classic matchups. I'm really looking forward to day 2. I really want to see those last 2 rounds, to be honest. Like the last 2 rounds are going to be the spiciest of rounds because for myself, I know, I mean, I look at it like this, Tug. I think the best I've placed is 6th all year. And I've had a lot of 8th placings, out of 20. So coming in at 19, I'm pleased as punch. I'm pleased as punch just coming in the top 20, to be honest. So I mean, for me, that's I think for that, I'm considering that a win. I think the first year I've ever honestly, truly, seriously competed and came in the top 20 in our 100 some odd players. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I take that as a win for my own personal abilities. No. One of my armies I don't think we're gonna see. I don't think we're gonna see guard, unfortunately. Guards had a couple of showings. Heck, my 6th place was a guard army that I brought that day. But I don't think we're gonna see much guard coming in this tournament. I'd be interested. I think we're going to see a couple Tyranid lists. I'm certain we're going to see a couple Necron lists. I know we're going to see 2 or 3 Blood Angel lists. Be a lot of Tau. Like I'm looking at this, I'm seeing a lot of Tau players in there. It'll be. It's going to be good to see. I think we'll get some good matchups out of there. There's definitely certain matchups on day 2 that I definitely want to see. I just want to see some of these closer ones in the brackets, like the lower half of the bracket, the 9 to 16, the 9 to 16 versus the 17 to 24. I think that's going to have day 1. I think that's going to have like some of the best matchups in the first round. Guaranteed Tau players. Luke's going to play. If Luke Lamar plays at 27, he's going to be playing Tau because it's his only army. And he's really, really good with them. Jeff Hill coming in at 18. He's going to drop to 17th place or jump to 17th place because of the one drop we have in the upper bracket. So he's going to jump to 17. I'm pretty sure he's going to bring his Tau. So that's at least 2. I'm pretty sure Oliver at 5 is going to bring his Tau as well. No, just you came like near into my window here. It'll be like I said. I think it's interesting, and like I said, there's a couple people I don't know what they know to play. That's Lady D. Here's the thing, Mythos. Tau are good. They're definitely a high end. They're definitely a high end army. They're not what they were in seventh. They're not a. They're not a win automatic army. They're definitely not. They're very competitive. Um, where the meta is right now, I honestly think what the meta comes down to, I don't think it's going to be about who's got the best faction. I think it's really going to come down to who's going to make the least mistakes. You cannot win a tournament unless you can go through them. That I would say is very true. I would say they're one of those. If you can't beat Tau, you're not going to win a tournament. The thing is, there's a number of them, and that they're also very popular factions. So, yeah, yeah. The new guard has the new guard. I don't think anybody's figured out how the new guard plays yet. Jeff and I were talking about this because Jeff, like me, is an old school guard player. Mr. Miller, good to see you. We were just talking about you briefly. You looking forward to playing Blood Angels against Blood Angels in the first round? Um, I don't think anybody's really. I don't think anybody's figured out exactly how to play the new guard list. There's a couple ways we've been talking about it. I mean, I've got my own ideas. I hear you like blood angels, so I got some angels in your blood for your blood angels in the angels of blood. Um, I honestly think the best way to play guard from what because I've got a copy of the codex, I've got a digital copy of the codex, and I've been reading it over, and I think there's a thing called the mechanized infantry, and I think that trait, along with the one that buffs up tank fire and indirect fire, I think those two together are going to give you your best options. I think that's going to give you your biggest bang for the buck. But that means you're playing a lot of indirect fire, you're playing a lot of tanks, and you're using your infantry, which are nice and cheap, but you're taking your cheapest forms of infantry and using them to simply hold objectives and perform actions. And you're not playing the guard heavy. You're playing a motor pool. And you would think in this meta, motor pool may not be the best, but given how cheap guard motor pool is, you can put a lot of sentinels on the table, and sentinels are a solid choice right now. I think that's a big part of it. I think you want to lean into, you want to lean hard into the new weapons teams. They've got an indirect fire missile team that's really, really good. You've got the extremely cheap chaff clearing mortar team. If you can stick 3 mortars on an objective in the back, out of LOS, protected so they can't be seen, and just rain 12d6 down on chaff units, clearing them. And then you can put a couple big cannons in the back behind them, raining the big guns. I mean, indirect fire that can take out vehicle guns, that is no joke. And I think that's something a lot of people are sleeping on. Those guns are no freaking joke. It's the same gun that it's the exact same gun that the Knights are using as a direct fire gun, but it's got twice the range in indirect for like 120 points, 130 points. I don't know how you can sleep on that. That is way too good a gun. It's the Basilisk. I mean, the Basilisk is just too good of a unit to sleep on. And I think I think the guards got to find a way to lean as much into heavy support as they can because all of their good choices are in heavy support. You got your Layman Russ, you got your Rogel Dorns, you've got your Basilisks. Um, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see because until they update that in, because here's the thing that's not in the codex. It's only in the data slate, and the data slate is supposed to be a rules balancing factor. So if it's in there, it's in there, and it's a core rule change. So until they take it back out of there, at least probably through LVO, guard is going to get that indirect bonus. If they take away the indirect bonus, then yeah, the guards got to find ways to move on people. And there are some. Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with guard. Like I said, I'm looking at the codex now. I've been reading it a lot, and I'm thinking honestly, you're gonna be leaning into. You're gonna see sentinels. Sentinels are a really cheap and powerful unit for what they can do, especially with the pregame move for the scout sentinels. And the armaments that the heavy armored sentinels can carry, they are no joke. And with all of their tanks having armor of contempt, I mean, I think the one thing that's going to stay unplayable, at least for right now, unfortunately, is the Baneblade. But that Rogel Dorn tank, I mean, I think a lot of guard army is going to take one of those as a centerpiece to what they fight with. But I don't know. The humble Layman Russ still got a lot of firepower for the amount of points you pay for that. The last data slate says that tanks, the guards, the Layman Russes get armor of contempt. They're the only ones, but the Layman Russes get armor of contempt. So, but yeah, I mean, it'll depend to see what happens with the. Don't know. Remember when they created the rules, Rogel Dorns weren't a thing. So we'll see. They will not have it off the bat, as far as I know. I'd want to read the exact wording on the data slate, because if it says on tanks, then it would include a Rogel Dorn. But I think they were specific about the Layman Russ tank having armor of contempt. The Custodes don't need armor of contempt. My God, it was unbelievable watching a squad of 3 bikes tank the entirety of a gun knight's output. Just oh, Custodians are still so good. I mean, they're tough for taking secondaries. I mean, that's where you're going to run in your hard thing is trying to figure out what secondaries to take with them. But custodians are a good army. They're still a good army. Um, Finding out that their freaking Terminators can go in groups of one. Oh my God. That was the most annoying thing. Yeah, each one has to roll their own charge, but you want to count, you want to, do you want to bother? They're charging a tank or they're charging a knight. Well, am I going to use, I'm going to put 20 shots downrange at them, but I'm only shooting at one of them on an Overwatch. Oh, sucks. You can bring a singular of the Custodes Terminators. Yeah, it's really freaking weird. Yeah, I mean, they're so freaking tough. But I mean, they have gotten nerfed. They're not the unstoppable juggernauts they were, say, back in February and March. They've given them a little bit of nerf. They're still damn strong. They're still really damn strong. Those bikes are unbelievable. Um, those bikes are absolutely unbelievable. I don't know. We're gonna see a bunch of stuff going on. I think over the next, I think this new data slate when it comes on in January, I think we're gonna see some shifting points for a bunch of armies because at that point everybody should have their codex, other than maybe the world leaders. But I'd like to think that the world leaders will get their codex either just at the end of the year or just the beginning of the year. Especially with the way they're promoting their figures and they're promoting the new guy and everything else, and how the Arc of Omens is coming along. I like to think that we're going to see them sooner rather than later. Yeah. All Astra Militarum vehicles get AOC. That's what the data slate says. Wowzers. That is pretty strong. That is pretty strong. Oh, man. Man, I wish that codex would be out in time for the 4th. I would not play with knights. I would completely play my guard. Oh, man, that would be so strong. All of those vehicles getting armor of contempt. So many vehicles. I just want to run mechanized infantry and run the motor pool list I've been putting together. God, that'd be so much fun. Oh, squad of 3 sentinels and 2 hellhounds, tanks, and indirect fire coming out the nose, and then just a lot of bodies. Bodies, bodies, bodies. Oh, that'd be great. Well, we'll see. Hopefully they get their codex before. I'm assuming they're going to get their codex before LVO. Now I know Knox is going to LVO, and I know Quinn is going to LVO. That'll be interesting to see. All this talk about 40K, and we have totally missed the last 3 weeks of massive releases for Age of Sigmar, which I'm super excited about. My fat boys got their codex and they got new units. I am super excited about that. My Ogor Ma tribes got like a massive update. And they're very playable now, which is really good. They're worth like multiple, like one dude is worth 2 guys. because of their massive size when it comes to figures on objective. The Gargants got a new model. It got their new codex. And who else got the code? Someone else got a codex too. Slaves of Darkness. They had their box. They had just had their box come out. And like a week before all this, like 2 weeks ago, you had the Lumineth got their codex. So Age of Sigmar is ramping up. Like they're getting everybody up to speed in their codex. I think the only people left, because they just had the what do you call it? The Tzeentch got their codex recently too. I think Slaanesh and Khorne still need to get their books. That's excellent, man. That's good to see that many people going. Yeah, that Demon Prince is gorgeous. I got to see it up close. Commodore actually got the box, and we were over at his house on Sunday, and he was showing me some of the sprues. Yeah, that kit looks really, really, really good. It's a good looking model. It's a good looking kit. Like I said earlier tonight, if I really wanted to play Slaves of Darkness, that's a great time to get into them. They're just gorgeous looking models, getting refreshed like that. Yeah, and there's so many options. I really love the fact they give you that much bits. It feels like an older model in that it gives you lots and lots and lots of options. So many different heads, weapon options, different looks. I think that's great. I really love the slate and the codex, the special edition codex or battle tome is really, really pretty. And it also has the 40K options right in the kit, which is not that unexpected. But it's beautiful to hear that they're doing that. Come January, we're going to be pushing a lot more Age of Sigmar content, both here on the channel and in the local gaming scene. We're trying to get some Age of Sigmar, an escalation league going and getting some regular competitive play just to get people in the habit of playing their armies. They don't give you the directions of the 40K version, though. Obviously, they probably won't. That'll probably be in the actual individual kit when you buy that kit. It'll give you those options there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Surflakes a lot. Well, I hate to say it, but you don't drop that kind of money on hotel tickets and flight plans and then not go. I mean, I think, him not being able to come to the tournament this week, 2 weeks from now, I think that's just, it is what it is. But I think he'll be fine. I think you guys will be fine. I'm looking forward to hear all of your adventures in Las Vegas. I'm looking forward to Adepticon, and it's crazy, that's almost 6 months out, and I'm really looking forward to that because Ryan and I are talking about and those you don't know, that to be Kirschbaum, known on the channel here, friend of the channel. He and I are talking about going down for Adepticon and signing up for the doubles tournament. And then Tim and I play our armies together and play Twin Tau, and our two very, very different versions of how we play Tau. So that could be a lot of fun, because he plays a very passive, very, very passive slingshotty version, and I play a very much get in your face and punch you with my guns type Tau. So it'll be interesting to see how that works together. I think it's good. I gotta say, out of everything I think this year, I mean, we're not ready for like a year in perspective yet. I think the week after, the week after the Warp Storm Invitational, I will do like a year in perspective then. But I do gotta say, one of the things I think I've been most hyped and most disappointed by this year was Horus Heresy. Like I was so hyped, so absolutely hyped for that game. Like they got their hooks into me. They had me all excited. I dropped the money. I bought the big box. I built the army. I painted the army. I had a great time building and painting and getting that army put together. And I think they look gorgeous. And the vehicles look good, and the dreads look good, and everything looks good. And I played the game, and it's basically old Warhammer. And it was one of the reasons I stopped playing Warhammer, because some of those older rules are kind of boring. Like, you want this game to be like epic and massive and exciting and action packed. And there's large portions of Horus Heresy where you're just taking blobs of 10 or 20 guys with bolters and running them across the field and shooting bolters, and you're rolling buckets of dice and nothing happens. Because they shoot all these dice, they hit with aftershots, they hit the bunch of guys, they all make their armor saves, except for maybe a couple here and there. And then that's it. It's really just kind of. Well, anyone that complains about it being so many Marines, that's on them. Like, I was excited. Like, I like the idea of the Marines. I like the idea of the different Marine units. I like the idea that the different chapters are very different. And the different chapters are very different. But because of the base core part of the rules, the different units aren't all that different. Like, there's a couple units that are. Not going to say that they're all not different. There are definitely some that are differenter than others. But like, I went into it thinking this is going to be some, action packed, epic type of game, and it just. I'll be honest. I played a couple games, and I was like, That was the first time I've ever been in a game where I liked the modeling and the painting more than like, markedly more than the gameplay of the game. Like, I came up with some really great schemes. I've got some really great models. I'm going to use them in my Space Wolves because, I can. I love the look of the models. But the actual Horus Heresy gameplay it just kind of was there. It was just kind of there. It wasn't bad. I definitely like Age of Sigmar a lot more than I like Horus Heresy. And it's got the same level of simplicity rules. There's just something about Age of Sigmar that comes off far more epic and adventurous and exciting and storytelling. And Heresy came off as throwing buckets of dice that do nothing. It's kind of like if you had two units of Goths, like two 2,000 point Goth armies shooting at each other and never getting into melee. Or if they had like a penalty that when they got into melee, they turned into Tau. Because that's what it felt like. It just felt like you were rolling lots of dice and nothing happening. It wasn't even the diversity that was the issue. It's just that the way the game plays, you're just chucking a lot of dice to know. It felt like you're going for the bucket of dice effect, but your bucket of dice is still just not that impressive. You throwing tons of dice, but you're just everything's just there. And it's hard to describe. I love the models, I love the look. I don't regret buying it because I love having it as a Space Wolf collector and a Space Wolf player. I love having a 3,000 point Heresy army. But if I don't play Heresy ever again, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm like, it's cool. It'll look nice on the shelf. It'll look nice in the display case because they do look attractive as an army. But I don't think Heresy is my cup of tea. You could play Knights because there is diversity there. You could play Knights. You could play AdMech. You can play the Solar Auxiliary, which is basically Astra Militarum. You can basically play anybody who's in the Imperium. And they work out. It's just dice of dice of dice and doing nothing with them. It's like when you have an entire army that hits on 4s and bounces on 2. Hits on 4s, wounds on 4s, bounces on 2s. Nah. He doesn't need to be quiet. He's fine. So, much like Heresy, I think myself is running out of a little bit of steam tonight. Kind of got the week coming up, things going on. I got a tournament I'm prepping for. So I think it's the last thing we're going to give a quick shout out to my lovely patrons on Patreon. I want to thank everyone who's here tonight, but I also want to thank my patrons, where a lot of you actually are, which I'm very happy about. You're a bunch of great people to hang out with, a bunch of great people to spend an evening chatting about stuff. But I want to give a shout out to my closest people that are actually chucking $1 or $2 at me every month just because I entertain them. So I'm going to start off with my Battle Brothers. Those $1 a month buddies of mine that just remind me that, hey, you're kind of funny. I want to give a shout out to Inquisitor Zane. Man, I don't get to see very often, but every time I do, he makes me laugh. You have the wonderful and beautiful Tina Carrasquillo. Thank you so much, Tina. You have my man, Mini Warmutt. Great channel. If you are not subscribed to Mini Warmutt, please go out to Mini Warmutt and give him a subscribe. He's got great stuff. Watch some of his videos. He's got some really great stuff going on. And then the man, the myth, the legend, the master modeler himself. The man that taught me everything that I've forgotten and everything I kind of know. The amazing Alex Drake. Thank you so much, big bro. Love you so much. Next, I have my battle leader tier. These are guys that are throwing me $3 a month. You know, half a bottle of paint. Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. I'm going to give a shout out to my man, Joe Bookish out of Cleveland. Big man. Good to hear from you sometime soon. I got the man himself, my brother in arms, my buddy, Wolf Lord, Mythos Kushranada. Thank you so much, buddy. Out of the Frost and Fist. Again, if you're not a follower of Frost and Fist, go over to that channel, give them a subscribe. They're great stuff. And lastly, Big Ben Carrasquillo. Thank you so much, sir. You're an amazing guy. I look forward to getting some Age of Sigmar with you, my buddy. I want to throw some dice at you. I want to throw some dice at you, finally. I've been playing with everyone else. I need to get some dice reps with you. Maybe once this tournament's over on the 4th, we'll get a couple games in over the holidays. I'm going to have some time. Let's throw some dice, man. Let's get it going. And then lastly, I want to give a shout out to my Warlord tier. These two people throw $10 a month. That means the two of them, I get a couple burgers and a shake while I am building miniatures and painting terrain. So a big shout out to the beautiful Jessica, the Pirate Phoenix. Thank you so much. My lovely niece. And the man who keeps us safe from the internet itself. The man who comes in from the phalanx high in orbit and shoots people in the face when they say naughty things in this channel. He is the Commodore. He is my man. And yes, Ben, I want to throw them right at you. Right at you. I want to dodge, bitch. Actually, I want to talk to you off camera, Ben, because depending on how this weekend is set up, I know it's Thanksgiving, so I mean, you might not be able to, but it might be nice to kind of just chuck some dice at each other on Sunday if you have some time. We'll talk about Hot Hammer at One and Only Warp Storm. Once again, I am Big D, the Gamecraft Dragon. I want to thank y'all so much for sharing some time with me. I want to thank y'all for them upvotes, and thank you for spending some time with me, spending this evening, this wonderful Tuesday evening, here on Turkey Tuesday, the day before Thanksgiving 2022. Keep gaming, keep painting, keep playing, keep building and painting models. It's such a great hobby, so many things. The building and painting of models, whether or not you're doing it to play games with or just putting them out there to show them off. It is a great hobby. It is a great time. It is a great way to share passions with friends. I'm going to thank all of you so much for being my friends. And I hope to see you real soon. If nothing else, we will see you next week. The same time, same channel. We'll see you then. Till then, stay epic.